My dear friends, again, we are welcome to the solemn celebration of the Epiphany of the Lord. What is the meaning and the relevance of the feast of the Epiphany for all of us this year? The homily will consist of two parts. First, a little background on the Magi. Who are these people? And what is the meaning of their gifts that they offered to Jesus? Where did they come from? And second, I will introduce to you a form of prayer that is very practical, very relevant, hopefully will help us start the year right in our spirituality, because spirituality is really founded on prayer. This is a gift from Saint Ignatius of Loyola, the founder of the Jesuits. He developed this form of prayer that is accessible to everybody and really guaranteed to improve our relationship with God and help us attain joy and peace that we are all seeking as we begin the year. So, a little background on the Magi. It reminds us of wishing upon the star. And when you hear that phrase, you remember Pinocchio. How many of you remember? It's a classic story written by an Italian author in northern Italy. It's a story of a wooden puppet who dreamed to become a real boy. And he wishing, dreaming the star that will help him become real. And he was seeking the path to be real. And, the puppet, when it tells a lie, and he is stressed, his nose becomes elongated, like any other Italian. He discovered that the path to be real is honesty, so he became real. Now, wishing upon a star. The Magi are not really kings. They are called kings, but they were the wise people of the times. Many of them were, some of them were heads of industries. They were inventors, scientists, astronomers, innovators, and leaders. And they were seeking, for the meaning of what they do, the purpose of what they do. And they found a star reading the skies, and that they followed the star, and they brought with them gifts, and they found Jesus. Now, the gifts that they brought really represent the entire achievement of human civilization. Gold, frankincense, and myrrh, they symbolize the entire human production, the totality of life and achievement of civilization. Gold, for example, when you think of gold, it means reserves, banking, stocks, commerce, exchange, precious stones, precious metals, anything that involve wealth and money. And if you travel the main roads around us, you see that line in the streets. Banks never end to banking, all banking and stocks and everything represented. This is an achievement of human culture. Frankincense represents the totality of human achievement in terms of anything that involves energy, combustion, transportation, aerospace, cinema, food production, everything that involves energy, petroleum, explorations, frankincense. And then myrrh, representing medicine, cosmetics, home care, body care, or everything that involves caring of health and caring of the body. You can go to one place and you'll find it all, bed, bath, and beyond. It's all there. Myrrh. So the totality of everything that we do, all at the feet of Jesus. The honest achievers and innovators and inventors of civilization. In other words, everything that we do, every year, we offer to Jesus, to God. He's the reason for our work. He's the one giving meaning to human effort. So that's the Epiphany. God presented to the world, and the world responding to Him in Jesus. Now, from this experience of the Magi, we will develop, as I've said, the very essence of spirituality is prayer. That is the meaning of the liturgical calendar about liturgy. It's about prayer. Because the purpose of religion is that we connect with God. And it is through prayer that helps us make that connection. And so it's developing a right prayer life, a real working, effective way of connecting with God that will enable us to really experience the meaning of religion as we connect with God. Now, there are many ways to connect with God. There are many ways. First, we do the very basic form of prayer, which is the formula prayer. These prayers are already set. We recite them, like the Our Father, the Hail Mary, Glory Be. These are set prayers. Act of contrition. These are already set. The words are already there. That's why they're called formula. They're already done. And combinations of this, like the Rosary, Stations of the Cross, and all other liturgical things that we do, these are all forms of prayer. And hopefully, when we recite these words, we connect. Because it's not just reciting these words, it is really connecting with the person of God. The words are just means, are tools that enable us to connect. Second form of prayer, it does not need words. It is a simple awareness of the presence of God. It can take the form of like meditation that it has no words, or the religious act of they call contemplation. Contemplation from two words, temple, which is a roof or a house, and then when you contemplate, you and God are on the same roof. You and God are under the same roof. It's awareness of God's presence without words. Like two people, like spouses under the house, they are together. When you have been living together for a long time, you don't need words anymore. You connect, already each other. The monks are experts on this. They can spend hours and hours under the tree contemplating. God and I under the same shade. Contemplation is a very beautiful experience without words, silence. This is what I do when I'm cold late at night and it is dark and raining and there's lightning and I have to anoint the person who is dying in the middle of the night. I don't know the place. I have to Google the direction. But as I drive to the call, I feel I'm not alone. There is somebody beside me telling me, Peter, you go, help save the life of this person. Then I become brave. I'm not scared anymore. That's a form of contemplation. No words, but the awareness that you're not alone. You're together with God. That's a beautiful experience. Then this form of prayer was developed by Saint Ignatius of Loyola, and it is he described it as a prayer of the whole person. The whole person. It is not just mind or feeling, but involving all the senses and the entire human experience. He calls this the prayer of the whole person. It involves the senses, like the five external senses, the internal senses in the brain, four sets of internal senses. All of these are involved, and human activity. Human activity and our encounter with the world, all of these are means by which we can connect with God. For example, sight. You say color, structure, shapes, and then our perception of these things will help us discover and connect with the presence of God. Like a beautiful sunset, a nice view, immediately something telling you there is somebody who made this. So there is a connection. Sounds, very important. We can pray through sounds, the spirituality of sound. As you know, sound is a sign that the universe is alive. There is movement in the universe. There are two kinds of sounds. The one that is irregular and erratic, which we call noise, where for some people it is music, And music, which is organized and harmonious, all of this can be tamed, that the sounds that we hear tell us that there is power, there is God who make things move. The universe is alive. We can connect. And then taste and smell and all these things that we perceive help us connect with God. So when Ignatius said prayer of the whole person, we can associate, prayer with all of these experiences. And he found a way to do this. And he said, when you pray, you do not need a lot of words. Just find one word that is so powerful. Because in the Bible, Jesus said, pray unceasingly, pray always. But you cannot recite all these prayers, repeatedly, and it gets boring, and you formula prayer. He said only one word. Choose one word that has all the power. In the letter of Paul to the Philippians, he said, there is a word, that the word Jesus, that in the name of Jesus, every knee shall bend, and behold to the glory of God the Father. This is a name full of power, full of energy. Just choose one word, the name of Jesus, and you associate this with entire human experience and human activity, and you are praying without ceasing. For example, the sound of the wind. A couple of days it was so windy. Every time you hear wind, you associate that with Jesus. The word Jesus, associating it really interacting with the nature, and as long as the wind blows and you hear it, you are praying. Or walking. Associate common human activity as walking, and every step, Jesus. So when you're hiking for hours, you're praying. Or even the sound of the clock, the ticking of the clock, which is boring, but you can tame it. And every tick tells you Jesus. So the whole 24 hours with the clock, you're praying. Right? Or even breathing, which is the common human activity, which we take for granted. Don't stop breathing, please. If you do, you'll turn flat. Go into your lanai in a quiet place, sit down, and inhaling, right posture, inhaling, exhaling is good for your blood pressure. And the entire time, inhaling, exhaling Jesus, you are praying. One word only. All human activity, all human experience can be integrated into prayer by which we can connect with God. This thing can be done by everybody. It is a practical, relevant form of connecting with God because that is really the essence of spirituality. And so as we begin the year, try this. Try this Jesus prayer, finding God in every activity, and you will discover peace. You discover peace and joy because you are connecting with God. This is very simple, and hopefully you can avail of it as we begin the new year 2020. That's the end of the homily today.